A very good evening to all. My name is Mugdha, and I would like to welcome every individual present over here to Thought Leadership on Workplace Transformation and Sustainability Conference by FM Globalnet. Before we actually start with our today's gathering, can we have a huge round of applause for all the audience? Thank you so much for being here today. Also, a special mention to our chief guest. Thank you so much for gracing the occasion with your esteemed presence. So, we all are aware that there has been a major transformation that we have witnessed through this pandemic, isn't it? The pandemic has really changed the way we think. It has also altered the way we live. So, there's a lot of change that has come in life. There's a variation in technology, there's digitization, and with all these changes touching our lives in various spheres, I think sustainability has a major role to play here, isn't it? Yes? Great. So now to welcome you all officially and to set the context of our today's conference, can I please request Mr. Jagannath Rao, the founder, FM Globalnet, to kindly take the dais. Let's applaud and welcome him on stage.
Good afternoon. A very warm welcome to every one of you. Very warm welcome to our chief guest, Mr. Prasad Dio from NASSCOM. Please give him a round of applause.
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि.
I would like to request our chief guest to kindly stay back on stage, while the other dignitaries are requested to kindly make themselves comfortable with the audience. So now it's time to hear from our chief guest. A little intro about him, he doesn't really need that. So as you all are aware, Mr. Prasad Devre comes in with a massive experience of 20 years in tech industry. He's currently the senior director at NASSCOM. Prior to joining NASSCOM, he has worked with Deloitte, TCS, Wipro and Cummins. Based in Pune, he is responsible for NASSCOM North and West regions. And now it's time to hear from him. Let's applaud and welcome, sir.
Let me start with thank you. The reason is you kept lights on for the industry in last 2 years. You are the COVID warriors of industry. Please pat your back and let's have a great round of applause for yourself. It was not easy. I remember March 2020. Suddenly it was announced there will be lockdown. I was at the receiving end of several calls. And I must give you all the credit for all the people movement, asset movement, and several other things. Seamlessly done. Industry comes back after quarter saying that we had no loss of productivity. In fact, productivity has improved. It would not have been possible without your efforts. Simply mind-boggling. And I remember our corporate administration forum, we acted together, we met police commissioner, we got the we were the authority to approve the passes for industry. So all this happened because you were there. I mean, incredible support, contribution, and agility with which we responded to this crisis. Not just this, but then again, second wave, setting up vaccination camps, managing, your employee welfare wasn't easy. I had several calls during these last 2 years, and you were treating your employees as your family. That's why I said I wanted to start with thank you. Well, I generally avoid talking about COVID these days in the conferences, but I couldn't resist here. Let me move on to the industry stats. Mind-boggling year. Those who have experienced 90s, they can imagine, they can relate. There's a double-digit growth of industry after a long time. Unprecedented hiring, 5.5 million, highest ever hiring. No one had imagined. Today the worry is, where is the talent? And talent poaching has become a big concern. We never imagined that would happen 5 years back, but this is happening. A lot of new startups. We attracted very good investment, quite a few unicorns in India. Third largest startup ecosystem is India. Tremendous growth from digital revenue perspective. We always talk about digital. It's NASSCOM spirit, think India, think digital, and we live to that spirit with the kind of growth we have experienced in last 2 years from digitalization perspective. This also, these are the few numbers you may be interested in. The kind of growth we have seen, 15.5% of growth revenue-wise. Even the domestic market grew and showed that there's a very strong domestic market which we have now. The pandemic also ensured that there is even more adoption from gender diversity perspective. We've seen now 36% workforce, which is women workforce. So pandemic has helped accelerated few things for good. That was last year. Current affairs. While I was coming for this conference, we had a webinar on SEZ amendments. How many of you are part of SEZ? Oh, quite a few. Yeah. So you might have seen that there is a Desh bill which is coming. Digital Enterprises and Services Hub. There is a lot of clarity that is required. But from NASSCOM perspective, we're trying to collate the views of industry. Please cooperate and share your views. While I'm sure your policy teams are getting their act together, you're working on ground and you know what the realities are. Similarly, we had this webinar on SEZ rule amendment to enable a hybrid work model. In our opinion, there are more amendments required, where we are happy that our request for 50% work from home on a permanent basis has been accepted. But there are still few nuances which we need clarification and which we are working on with Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And I must say that they're happy to listen to us and make those amendments. So we are consolidating the industry view on these two matters. There is another thing that is coming as a new labor code, which may directly or indirectly impact you. It will have certain rules with night shift, etc. That's what I'm saying that. Even the number of hours which you work, your contractors, etc., it's going to impact. Generally, sometimes security services work in double shifts. So all these things are going to be addressed in this new bill. So wait for us to come back to you and share our recommendations and also seek your input on those recommendations. Then there are other things that are happening around. I also look at North. I'm not sure if you have, anyone of you have offices in North? Haryana, Gurgaon? Yeah, few of you. There is something called Haryana Reservation Bill, enforcing local reservation for local citizens, citizens of Haryana. And even with less than any job role which requires less than 30,000 per month salary, they are saying that 75% should be local population. So this is kind of a protectionism. If the matter is currently sub judice, but if Supreme Court or High Court gives this a go-ahead, it might spread. It's going to be difficult then from hiring perspective. Your contractors will definitely get impacted. But we are working on this. And ESG, very important. ESG is important not just now from hygiene perspective, it become a business mandate. And I'm sure a lot of you are directly responsible for ESG. Your carbon footprint is being measured. Your customers are asking for the details around that. How are you monitoring? How are you measuring? You have to present reports. So you're going to play a crucial role in this. ESG also important from certain regions, especially in North. in winters, etc., the situation is not. The situation is very scary because of pollution. You can't run diesel gen sets, and also you don't have a electricity supply like 24/7 guaranteed electricity supply. So these problems are going to be there, and we need to work on these problems and to brainstorm what kind of solutions we are going to come up with. Okay, so these are current affairs. I will move to future of work. We recently did a summit in Chennai on future of work, and we worked with BCG, Boston Consulting Group. Certain findings I would like to share with you. So, while we all know we are already moved to in certain way to hybrid model, what has been realized is more important in any from management perspective is one. When you say you want to grow, is direction in which you want to grow, speed at which you want to grow. The third is resilience. The third dimension, which was never measured in past, will be measured now, and it is a lot more to do with this community because you are the one who has shown resilience in past, especially last 2 years. And so how resilient is your infrastructure is going to be key factor in future of work. Now, when we talk about future of work, it's not just work from home. These days, it's become work from hometown as well. Big change we never imagined. You're recruiting from, you never imagined you will go and recruit from. I know Satara, for example, quite a few companies are going and recruiting, right? The challenge is, on one side, we talk about employee experience, and now things have changed a lot. I remember companies having 2 facilities. I remember the name, I can't take the name of the company, but they had one facility in Eon Kharadi, and the other facility was in Fursungi. And they used to worry about the employee experience at 2 different facilities. Now, how would you deliver similar work experience to those employees? Sometimes there are satellite offices which are being opened, but how do you cater the similar standard of workplace experience for employees? The second big thing that is going to happen is a gig workforce. You might see that you have employees, but they're not full-time employees. They may be part-time employees. A data scientist, for example, may not be required 12 months a year. His role might be 7 months, 6 months, and sometimes he may not be required full day also. It's just 3 hours during a key decision-making strategies on a particular project. So they are going to be an integral part of this ecosystem. It happens in US, it will happen in India as well. And then you have to look at them as well. What used to be a 9 to 6 shift, it will change dramatically. I'm not sure how we're going to manage our transport, how we're going to give them experience, how they're going to join your events, internal. Things are going to change dramatically. How you to embed them in your culture. Third, an important consideration which we realize is when we talk to companies, how do you enable innovation in a hybrid mode? It's not easy. While last 2 years we talked about survival and in fact excellence and productivity gains, how about innovation? You must look at engineering R&D companies where you have some of them also work on hardware part of it. You need to work from office. So that takes to the next slide. What is certain to change, and there are certain questions that need to be answered. Well, organizations are calling employees back to work. What is client saying? What is the customers talking about? Customer is saying that they're comfortable with work from home model. Most of the customers are saying that. Even employees are saying that they want to work from home. We need to come up with models which will ensure that employees understand the culture, especially the lateral hires, new joinees. There are companies which are into services. Knowledge sharing is not easy. You change one project, you move to other project. You need some shadowing, those things were possible earlier in a physical premise, remote working is going to be challenged. So how do you manage that? So some of the open questions, and we have no definite answers. We need to brainstorm, work. It will evolve over a period of time. How does hybrid, for example, look for different job roles? I've heard that many managers, mid-managers want to come to office. Developers say, I was working fine, why should I come to office? What kind of job roles are required to work from office? Are our managers ready to manage this workforce, half remote, half in office, different job roles in office, different job roles working remotely? Are they equipped enough? Are they trained to manage this workforce? And even from your perspective, it's going to be, you have to be super agile with your transportation, with your work, your capacity planning. Everything is going to change, because this is going to be reality. Because employers are using flexibility as one of the criteria for employees to join the organization or retain the organization. So that flexibility is very important, and that flexibility will be delivered by you in most of the cases. So how do we organize and how do we use these hybrid models to create a value propositions? And some of the companies are using this as a value proposition that, you work from home for good. You work from hometown rather. And in case of global companies, how will it work globally? It's still a very complex model. Some geos are saying that we are already done doing that. We are very good. Some geos still have restrictions, labor laws, simple things like, your payroll processing, etc. Take into consideration sometimes your geography, the place of employment. So all this is going to definitely create much more complex scenarios. So we still have to answer the question that what does the future workplace look like? And I'm hopeful that this conference will give us some answers and we'll have very insightful brainstorming sessions here. With that, I would conclude my presentation. Thank you so much. My email ID is prasad@nascom.in. Happy to have your views. If you have any input on ACZ policies, work from home, if you're an expert in ACZ, do let me know. Do reach out to us. Well, Mugdha, over to you. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Can we have a huge round of applause for him? Can I request you to kindly wait back on stage?
It's time to invite on stage our sponsor from AMPS Facility Management. Can we please clap and welcome Mr. Bopanna, BD Manager, and Mr. Kishore, Country Head IFM.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Bopanna, so I'm part of the business development team here at AMPS. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for coming, and it gives us immense pleasure to be part of this FM Global event, and I would like to thank the organizers as well for this opportunity. So before starting off with our presentation, so we'd like to show you a small audiovisual about our company. Can you please play the video?
In today's emerging world, facility management is an extremely important function in any business operation. It can be termed as the backbone of any organization. The facility management function helps in keeping things alive and kicking 24/7 in an organization. AMPS, facility management, is a cost-saving unit in any organization. In today's fast-growing industrial world, it's very important to be associated with a professional facility management company. AMPS service offers support to companies and institutions, allowing them to focus on their core business while entrusting non-core business to AMPS, the premier Indian FM company. AMPS, founded by Mr. Uday Kumar UR, established in 1999 in Bangalore, is an ISO 9001-2008 certified company. AMPS has more than 15,000 plus dedicated employees. Company has a presence in major cities in India and technical collaboration with the Technical University of Vienna, Austria. AMPS has expanded businesses in Dubai, UAE. The awards and recognitions we receive are a testament to our success. Awarded Best and Recommended Electrical Facility Management Company in India 2013 by FMW India Chapter. Our service offerings: engineering service, cleaning service, waste management, production support service, mailroom management, recruitment process. The AMPS recruitment process is very stringent on the candidate's educational qualification and skill set. AMPS interview process includes written, practical and oral tests which are compulsory. Industry verticals where AMPS offers dedicated services are IT companies, telecom, manufacturing, automobile, pharmaceutical, aerospace, banking sector, state and central government organizations. Training is compulsory for every employee. Classroom training, on-the-job training, skill enhancement such as personal grooming, CRM, international quality standards, fire safety, new technology introductions, EHS, energy saving. AMP's client base includes some of the world's largest companies such as Toyota, Bosch, HCL, and many more. AMPS is an industry leader in corporate and industrial facility management that promotes best practices in business ethics. We are innovative, cost-effective, international best practices and process-oriented, meeting international quality standards. AMPS is the best ethical and fast-growing facility management company in India and abroad. Call us today to find out how our complete facilities management service can benefit your business.